Thank you very much. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to join you for this critical discussion on my first visit to the United Arab Emirates as UNICEF Executive Director. Thank you so much for welcoming me here so warmly. It's hard to believe that it's been almost 7 years since the world came together to endorse the Sustainable Development Goals, and 6 years since the United Arab Emirates launched the SDGs in action at the World Government Summit in 2016. UNICEF has been fortunate to work in partnership with the United Arab Emirates to drive progress towards achieving the child-focused goals and targets of the SDGs. And while results were uneven, we were still making progress. But as we near the halfway mark on the way to 2030, we know that we are losing ground. The compounding force of increased conflicts, climate change crisis, and most importantly, the COVID-19 pandemic have threatened our progress. The world is moving backwards. As United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres recently said, we need to rescue the SDGs. We need to start by putting children's rights and children's well-being at the center of the global, national, and children's recovery plans as part of our larger effort to achieve the SDGs. How can we hope to meet SDG 1, no poverty, without addressing the additional 100 million children who have fallen into poverty since 2020? We need to invest in social protection programs that are the most effective way to help families cover income losses. How can we meet SDG 2, zero hunger, without taking urgent action to reach the additional 9 million children who are at risk of wasting? Nutrition interventions are among the most effective and cost-effective investments we can make in children's development and in sustainable growth. Or health and well-being, SDG 3. In 2020 alone, an additional 23 million children didn't receive essential vaccinations because of pandemic-related disruptions. We need to build on a global movement for vaccine affordability, availability, and equity as a contribution to strengthening primary health care. And we need to address the mental health crisis that is affecting so many children around the world, adolescents and young people as well. Or consider SDG 4, universal quality education. The pandemic has exacerbated what was already a serious global learning crisis, especially for children who are already being left behind. How can we meet SDG 4 without focusing on children in low-income countries, as many as 70% of whom cannot read a simple sentence by age 10? It's not enough to reopen schools. We need to make sure that every child is back in the classroom and learning, and we need to invest in teachers. How can we achieve gender equality, which is SDG 5, when the pandemic has forced millions of women out of employment, contributing to decreased family income and increased family poverty, child poverty as well? And we estimate that an additional 10 million girls are at risk of child marriage. We cannot meet SDG 5 without investing in girls' health, education, protection, and empowerment. And how can we possibly achieve SDG 6, clean water and sanitation, when so many millions of children around the world lack access to safe water and improved sanitation? The simple answer to all of these questions is that we cannot achieve any of these goals, the majority of the SDGs, without making progress for children. UNICEF is a global custodian for children in the SDGs. We are directly responsible for 7 SDG goals and indicators, and we either support or are co-custodian for further 12. Our new strategic plan is a blueprint to accelerate progress towards achieving all of them. The strategic plan is structured around 5 goals to ensure that by 2030, every child survives and thrives. Every child learns and acquires skills for the future. Every child is protected from violence, abuse, and harmful practices. Every child has access to water, sanitation, and hygiene and lives in a safe environment. And every child lives free from poverty. These are ambitious goals. They are transformative goals. To achieve them, we will need to work more efficiently and effectively than ever before. We will need bold thinking and bold action. finding new ways to solve persistent problems. And we will need partners like the United Arab Emirates. I look forward to our work together to reignite the SDGs by helping millions of children around the world survive and thrive. I thank you once again for inviting me and for working with us to achieve these goals. Thank you all very much.